Beyond internal challenges, Burkina Faso and its allies must also prepare for potential external resistance. Western powers, particularly France, may attempt to undermine this move through diplomatic pressure, economic sanctions, or other means designed to maintain their influence over African economies. Despite these obstacles, Burkina Faso and its partners remain steadfast in their pursuit of economic liberation. For them, financial independence is not just an economic goal, but a crucial step toward full sovereignty. Their actions have already sparked continent-wide discussions, prompting other African nations to reconsider their dependence on the CFA franc. If Burkina Faso successfully implements these reforms, it could set a precedent for other former French colonies seeking to break free from economic dependency. But the significance of this shift extends beyond Africa. By forging alliances with nations like Russia and Venezuela, countries that challenge Western economic dominance, Burkina Faso is positioning itself within a new global order. These partnerships could bring much-needed investments, technological advancements, and military cooperation. However, such moves also come with risks. Aligning with anti-imperialist movements may strain relationships with international financial institutions and Western governments, leading to further economic and diplomatic challenges. As Burkina Faso embarks on this transformative journey, it must skillfully navigate both internal and external pressures. The success of the Treasury Deposit Bank and the SIRA currency will depend on strategic planning, economic resilience, and diplomatic agility. The road ahead is uncertain, but one thing is clear. Burkina Faso refuses to remain shackled by neocolonial financial systems. It is taking bold steps to reclaim its economic future. This is a defining moment, not just for Burkina Faso, but for Africa as a whole. If this daring experiment succeeds, other nations may follow, accelerating a larger movement toward economic self-determination across the continent. The decline of the CFA francs' influence could mark the dawn of a new era, one where African nations control their own financial destinies without foreign interference. President Ibrahim Traoré's decision to introduce the SIRA and establish a national treasury is a powerful statement. It signals that Burkina Faso will no longer be bound by outdated financial systems that serve foreign interests over its own people. The path ahead will be difficult, but it is fueled by a vision of true independence, national prosperity, and economic sovereignty. History has shown that leaders who challenge Western-controlled financial institutions often face significant resistance. By introducing the SIRA, Traoré is making a move that many before him have attempted at great personal risk. The fate of Libya's Muammar Gaddafi serves as a stark reminder of what can happen to African leaders who attempt to break free from Western financial dominance. Gaddafi's push for a gold-backed African currency threatened the economic control that the West exerted over the continent. Many believe this played a role in his downfall and eventual assassination in 2011. The pattern of foreign intervention against African leaders who challenge financial hegemony is not new. Burkina Faso's own revolutionary leader, Thomas Sankara, was assassinated in 1987 after advocating for economic independence, rejecting debt as a tool of control, and pushing for African self-sufficiency. His legacy serves as a cautionary tale, but also as a source of inspiration for those who continue to fight for Africa's financial liberation. He was targeted because of his extreme beliefs, and it is generally accepted that outside forces had a hand in his elimination. Similar to this, Patrice Lumumba of the Democratic Republic of the Congo met a violent end in 1961 when he tried to seize control of his country's enormous mineral resources, endangering the financial interests of the West. More recently, Tanzanian President John Magufuli also came under fire for his measures that attempted to lessen foreign influence in the nation's economy. Although natural causes were officially given for his unexpected death in 2021, many believe foul play was involved. Considering his desire for national economic independence and his disobedience of global financial organizations, these incidents show a recurrent trend in which African leaders who want to distance themselves from financial systems dominated by the West frequently suffer terrible repercussions. For decades, many African nations have been trapped in a financial system designed to keep them under the economic influence of their former colonial ruler, France. The CFA franc, a currency imposed by European powers, has long served as a tool for maintaining control over African economies. However, a new generation of leaders is rising to challenge this outdated system, determined to break free from external control and achieve true financial independence. Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali are at the forefront of this revolution, boldly rejecting the continued dominance of the CFA franc. These nations are no longer willing to operate under financial constraints that prioritize the interests of foreign powers over their own economic growth. Instead, they are forging a new path, one that puts their national development and sovereignty first. This marks a historic turning point as they work together to establish a monetary system that truly serves their people. In Burkina Faso, President Ibrahim Traoré has taken concrete steps to end the country's dependence on neocolonial banking structures. By establishing a Treasury Deposit Bank and introducing a new national currency, the SIRA, his administration is laying the foundation for financial self-sufficiency. These initiatives signal a decisive shift away from the systems that have long held African economies back, allowing the country to regain control over its own financial destiny. To understand why this movement is so significant, we must look at the history of the CFA franc. France introduced the currency on December 26, 1945, as a means to keep economic control over its former colonies, even after they gained political independence. Despite being sovereign nations, countries using the CFA were forced to deposit a significant portion of their foreign reserves into French banks, effectively surrendering their financial autonomy. This arrangement gave France disproportionate power over African economies, allowing it to dictate monetary policies, control interest rates, and influence financial conditions across the region. The flaws of the CFA franc have long been criticized. It strips nations of the ability to make independent economic decisions, devalue their currency when necessary, or set interest rates that reflect their own economic realities. Furthermore, because the CFA is pegged to the euro, it makes African exports more expensive on the global market, reducing their competitiveness. This, in turn, stifles industrialization and keeps many African nations reliant on exporting raw materials instead of building strong domestic industries. Recognizing these limitations, Burkina Faso has stepped up to lead the charge for financial liberation. President Traore has not only championed the introduction of the SIRA currency, but has also distanced Burkina Faso from ECOWAS, a regional bloc seen by many as being heavily influenced by France. The SIRA represents a major shift. It gives Burkina Faso full control over its monetary policies, allowing the nation to regulate inflation, protect its industries, and develop its economy without external interference. To further reinforce economic sovereignty, the newly created Treasury Deposit Bank will ensure that Burkina Faso's financial reserves remain within its borders, eliminating the need to store money in French-controlled institutions. This move secures the country's wealth, keeping it within the national economy instead of allowing foreign powers to dictate its use. Of course, launching a new currency comes with challenges. Establishing trust in the SIRA, stabilizing its value, and integrating it into international trade will require careful planning and strong economic policies. However, while the transition may be difficult, the long-term benefits of financial independence far outweigh the risks. The transition from the CFA franc to the SIRA is not just about changing currency. It requires the establishment of a strong monetary system, well-structured financial regulations, and effective tools for managing exchange rates. If mismanaged, this shift could lead to economic instability, inflation, and fluctuations in market confidence. By launching the SIRA, Ibrahim Traoré places himself among a bold lineage of African leaders who have dared to challenge the global financial establishment. He is directly confronting powerful interests that have long benefited from Africa's economic dependence. By taking control of Burkina Faso's monetary policy and cutting French influence out of the equation, Traoré is making a statement, one that disrupts the status quo and threatens those who have profited from Africa's subjugation. But history has shown that such defiance often comes at a steep cost. Leaders who have attempted to dismantle these exploitative financial structures have frequently faced severe consequences. Some have been overthrown, others assassinated, and many have seen their nations destabilized by external forces determined to maintain control. The battle for true economic independence is not just a political struggle. It is a fight against a deeply entrenched system that resists change at all costs. Yet, there is something different about Burkina Faso's approach. With unwavering determination, strategic alliances, and a growing coalition of like-minded nations, Traoré may have the foundation needed to succeed where others have fallen. Will he break the cycle and set a new precedent for African financial sovereignty? Or will the forces of history repeat themselves, crushing yet another revolutionary vision before it can fully take root? These are questions that will define the future of Burkina Faso and, perhaps, the entire continent. What do you think? Will Burkina Faso's bold move ignite a wave of economic liberation across Africa? Or will it face the same fate as past attempts to challenge Western financial dominance? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear from you. And if you believe in Africa's right to control its own destiny, join this conversation. Subscribe to our channel and become part of a growing movement dedicated to reclaiming Africa's rightful place in the world. When you subscribe, you're not just staying informed, you're standing for change, for self-determination, and for a future where African nations are no longer shackled by neocolonial financial systems. Click the subscribe button, turn on notifications, and stay with us as we explore Africa's history, culture, and ongoing struggle for true independence. Let's spread awareness, spark meaningful discussions, and inspire a new era of self-reliance. Thank you for watching. Together, we can shape the future. On to the next.